Hi, welcome back to my family table. Today we're going to be making saffron chicken. It's one of our favorites. It's very simple to make. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's very simple to make. And so I'm just going to get started here. Should have had my knife ready to go, but hey, you know. All right, I am just going to slice a tablespoon of butter. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in the pan. I'm using canola oil. I'm going to do about 2 tablespoons because we're also going to do our chicken. We're not just going to do our, I just love that sound. We're not just going to do our onions. We're also going to do our chicken in here. So we just kind of want to melt this down. While that's melting and getting all ready, I'm going to cut my onion in half. So sharper a minute ago. And for this dish, we're just going to sliver our onions. I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to sliver the onions as thin as I can. Whoops. And these are going to go in first, and we're just going to brown these off. Or not brown them, I'm sorry, soften them up. I should have cut the root off. Okay, so we have our first one cut. I cut the, I'm going to go ahead and get it in there because this pan is really hot. I don't want all that oil to burn. Put a little bit of salt in there. I don't know if you watched the last video where I mentioned that the salt will prevent a lot of splatter, or back splatter I should call it, from the pan as you're putting food in there once the pan's gotten really hot. So always do that to prevent any injuries. Alright, I'm going to quickly cut this one. I do have a tear that wants to roll down my face. You guys, I'm not immune to these onions whatsoever. I don't know how some people are. I used to wear sunglasses when I would cut my onions. And that actually did help. So I'm going to use 1 clove of garlic today, and whatever doesn't mince from the garlic press, just take it out and mince it with your knife. Okay. Now the onions have been in here for just about a minute or two. I had the pan up pretty high because I like to preheat my Dutch ovens. That way, when I put the oil in and I put the butter in, it will melt rather quickly. And sit in the oil that's in your pan for about 30 seconds so that the oils can come out of the garlic and the garlic scent will absolutely bloom. Once you smell it, you need to stir it up into whatever you're making. In this case, would be my onions. The reason for that is because that's where you're going to maximize that flavor, is by putting it in the oil and getting it bloomed. Okay, so these onions still have a little bit of time before we're ready to put the garlic in, because once you put the garlic in, you want to be able to move back quickly, and you want to be able to put the liquid in. You need to put liquid or some sort of barrier from that garlic to prevent burning. So I'm just going to set this aside. Okay, so here's my chicken, and all I want to do here for right now is just season it with salt and pepper. Just the best way to salt, and I know you guys have seen me use the container of salt. That's okay, because you know what, sometimes I just don't put it in a dish. But the best way to sprinkle the chicken evenly where you're not overdoing it is by putting it in your fingers and sprinkling it from up high. Same with the pepper. while I'm doing this, okay, first, onions. Okay, the onions, I'm just going to move them off to the side in the pan because I want that middle portion readily available for the garlic. And this, I'm just going to put the garlic right in the oil. You want to make sure that it's in the oil and it's actually bubbling on the sides. That's when you know you're getting that oil to bloom out of the garlic and you're going to get the maximized garlic flavor in your dish. I always just take a big smell, a big whiff of the pot, and I'm going to stir that in because it is smelling delicious. Okay. Now one thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to take these onions out in just a second. I'm just going to finish this part up. Peppers on the chicken. And I'm just going to take a regular plate and I'm just going to put the onions right on top of that plate. Basically what we're doing here is softening them enough to give off their flavor. And then they're going to continue to cook in the pot while the chicken does, but first browning is involved. Okay, so those are going to sit there for just a second. I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken in to the pot. There is enough oil to go around. I don't need to add any more. So I'll be adding the chicken. And since I'm adding the chicken, I'm going to turn up the heat. Okay, we talked about liquid. So in here I have some chicken broth. I'm going to heat this up. Again, I like to start my pans before I put the liquid in. That way it just kind of hurries up. I don't really have a lot of time. You know what I mean? We talked about this in the last video, rolling your lemons, your limes for added juice. Yeah, so that is, I don't know if you can see, super squishy now. And because it's squishy, it's going to provide us way more juice than we would have had otherwise. Okay, that's going a lot faster. I didn't turn it down. So this is saffron. This little vial is saffron. Little threads that are full of flavor. They come from certain regions of the world. Ouch. One of them is Spain. I do not know where these ones are from. My trusty little bottle doesn't tell me, which it should, but it doesn't. So we're going to put the saffron, and we'll talk about saffron in just a second, in the pot with the chicken broth is the word I'm looking for. And I'm just going to stir it up just a smidge. While I'm doing that, I'm going to turn my chicken because it's ready to be turned. Oh, that is beautiful color. Ooh. Yeah, you guys, this is good color right here. Okay, let's talk saffron. So, saffron comes from different parts of the world. However, there are fakies, if you will, and you have to be careful about those. Saffron is a very expensive spice. It can run you, I mean, $17 and up, just for a little bottle of it. And you may think, oh my gosh, that's so much money, and it is a lot of money. However, it couldn't be more worth it because saffron is one of my favorites. This stuff is so good, so flavorful. And even though, yeah, it is a little bit pricey, you know, a little bit goes a long way. So you're not even using like half your jar on your current dish because it doesn't take that much. It's literally that flavorful. So this is good now. So our chicken broth is heated through and the saffron has heated up with the chicken broth, so that will dissolve soon. If your saffron does not change the color of your chicken broth or whatever liquid you're using within 15 minutes of sitting in there. And it has to be hot, of course. It can't just be cold, you know, because nothing dissolves in cold liquid, except for maybe Alka-Seltzer. That is not this. Anyway, the point is that if it doesn't dissolve or if it doesn't change the color of your liquid to a golden color within 15 minutes, it's probably not real saffron. So pay the money. Don't skimp. It's worth it. I think it's worth it. But it truly, truly is worth it. I have my onions here. I have my liquid ready to go. My lemons ready to go. And we are going to also make mashed potatoes. Okay, so I'm working with Yukon Gold potatoes today. I feel like Yukon Gold, I've said this before, but literally they have a better flavor, in my opinion, than russet potatoes. And as such, I decided that this is probably the best potato to use for my mashed potatoes going forward. You know what? It's pretty much working out for me. Alright, the chicken is browned on both sides. This is lovely. I just need to grab this real quick to show you guys. It is browned on both sides. There we go. Looks great. I should mention I'm using boneless, skinless chicken thighs. If you're curious as to why I've chosen that specific piece of chicken, I will tell you in just a minute. But first, deglazing. Let's talk deglazing. Don't let me forget to tell you about the chicken, because I will. I'm good at forgetting. Deglazing means that you are basically taking, that is really a hot pan, the fond. If you don't know what fond is, I'm going to try to show you. Again, stellar stuff here. Okay, you see all that at the bottom? Yeah. That is called fond. That is from browning the chicken. And so that is all flavor. What you want to do is take your liquid, pour it in there, and scrape all of that up so that it's in your liquid and in your pan, so that you are adding that flavor to your cooking liquid. And you have to do it right away, because if you do not do it right away, you're not going to be able to. The pan's going to be covered with food and you can't get to it. Simple as that. Okay, so the chicken broth with the saffron is in there. I'm going to go ahead and put the lemon juice in now. I'm going to do the juice of one whole lemon. Oh, you guys, this is going to be so good. I'm so stoked. Yeah, for those of you that don't know what stoked means, different generation. It's okay. It means excited. Okay, so that is done. I think I've got a seed in here. I did. Out with you. Okay, so the chicken broth, saffron, and the lemon juice is in. Now we're going to go ahead and add back our chicken. I'm going to turn this up a little bit just for a second. Not too much though, because I'm just trying to get that to do exactly what it's doing right now. And I'm going to add back the chicken. So this does go super quick. I mean, once you've got your chicken browned, everything else just kind of comes together very quickly. Okay, and all of the onions, all of the juice that is on this plate needs to go back into the pot. That is all flavor. Okay. Now that is boiling. And then, last but not least for this, actually we're going to do one more thing before. So I'm going to take this, and I find the best way to zest a lemon is to turn your microplane upside down, because this is where it catches. Where these ridges are sitting up, this is where it catches all of the zest. I'm just doing this as an added bonus because I truly love lemon and I just think that it is just the bee's knees. And so we're going to add a little bit extra. I'm not going to add a whole bunch because that is really going to be bold. So probably maybe about a teaspoon. We'll just go with a teaspoon. Be careful when you zest the lemon because you don't want to get this white part. This is called the pith. It's a funny word to me. But you don't want to get that because it's kind of bitter and it just tastes gross. No one wants to eat that. He's saying hi again. So I got about a teaspoon of lemon zest. I'm just going to go ahead and add it right on in. Now your zest is going to be a little bit wet. No one ever tells you that. So it's not going to go all over like you wish. You're going to have to pick some of it up and move it around. So I'm going to lower the heat and I'm going to let it cook for about 45 minutes. Within that time frame, I'm going to get our well, I've got the potatoes already covered. Oh my God, did you guys just see that? It attacked me. My dinner attacked me. Okay, the reason that we're using boneless, skinless chicken thighs is because we're going to be cooking these for a long time. And as such, we all know that the longer we cook chicken breasts, the harder they get to chew. They become more like a hockey puck than a piece of chicken that you'd want to put in your mouth and eat. Whereas the boneless, skinless chicken thighs can not only handle higher heat temps, but it can also handle longer cook times and still be tender and moist. So that is why I choose to use these. And honestly, they lend this flavor that chicken breasts don't. I'm gonna start. All right, I am just making our salad dressing for tonight. I always make my own because it tastes better. I can control what goes in there, and just better. It's just better for everybody. I don't know. It's easy too. So. And then, so I want to add about 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. I don't know why I keep doing that. You can't even see it. We've got to get better about this, don't we? We need to figure something else out. 1/4 of a cup. And then I'm just going to add just a little less. I don't want exactly 1/4 of a cup of vinegar because it tends to be too much. I'm going to just use this leftover lemon from last night. Okay. And I am going to use some fresh thyme in here. Just a couple of sprigs, nothing fancy. You just pull it down. All right, so I've got the thyme in there, and I'm going to go ahead and put 1 clove of garlic. And I'm just going to press that right in. I'll use my knife to get that in there. And then I'm going to need to just cut that because there's always just that little bit that doesn't get put in the, or get sent through the press. And you don't always need to use a garlic press if you don't want to. I like it because I feel like it just makes life easier. However, I guess I still have to cut it up a little bit, so. Just real quick. So I can really taste the olive oil. The balsamic vinegar is the next big thing I taste. I can taste some of the lemon, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just finish off this lemon with the zest, just to give it a little bit of added lemon flavor without having to go crazy and put like so much juice in there, because it tends to scratch the back of your throat if there's too much acidity. So you don't want to do that. I'm also going to add a little bit more salt because I feel like salt is needed. And this is why I tell you guys, make sure you taste everything, because you never know. If you don't taste it, you're not going to know if you need anything else in there, or if it's just fine the way it is. Okay, where's my spoon? Found it. Perfect. There we go. The salt really helped. So this is ready to go. I'm going to do my wildest to show you my whoa, it's spilling. My homemade salad dressing. And now it's time to prep the salads. All right, now it's time to make the salads. We both like different things in our salads, so there's not any one recipe that I use or any specific items that I add to the salads. I mean, well, mine, I guess there is, but as far as, it just varies amongst us. We use a 50-50 blend of greens picked up along the way to cut your bell peppers without getting seeds everywhere. Is cut off the tip enough to where you can set it down and leave it on its own. And then you're going to take your knife at it, oh, look at that, at an angle, and cut down the center and kind of go around. Let the bell pepper kind of guide your knife. Move with it. The pepper, that is, not just the knife. Okay, and there you have it. All the seeds in here. Discard that. No seeds in here at all. No seeds, no seeds anywhere. Not even on my knife. There's no seeds on my knife at all. Your salads, they can be, of course, whatever you want them to be, whatever you like. We are going to use bell pepper, a radish, some cucumber, and I'm going to use an English cucumber. Joe does like Kalamata olives. We both do. So we're going to use some olives. I always dress the salad first, the greens, but it really doesn't matter. I like radishes. Joe does not. So, cut up my radish there. And I don't like these big pieces. It's kind of tough to get those in your mouth with the greens and everything else. So I just cut them in half. Stack them together and cut them in half. It's so much easier. All right, we don't need any more bell pepper. We have enough bell pepper in the mix for both of us. He just also does not like cucumbers. It's fine. It's whatever. I love cucumbers, and I think that cucumbers should always be on a salad, but just my opinion. Just my opinion. I like to cut those in half too. Although these are English cucumbers, so they're a little bit smaller than your traditional cucumber would be. And I'm going to add just a few Kalamata olives to both dishes. We both love These are my favorite olives, is Kalamatas. Pitted, of course. I'm also going to add some bee pollen. And this is local bee pollen. You're going to be like, what? Yeah, bee pollen. And this is what it looks like. Up close right there. It's just like a little seedling type of thing. And just really not least, feta cheese. My favorite is gorgonzola cheese, but I don't have any right now because I'm trying to get through this feta cheese. I buy like a ton of because it's just better. I'm having tonight, and this is Joe's salad, and it's a little bit more minimalist than mine, but hey, you know what? You like what you like, you don't like what you don't like. So it's my potatoes. And as soon as those start boiling, I'll just reduce the heat and let them continue to do a lighter boil Not such a rapid rolling boil, but a boil though, because they do need to cook. In the meantime, we're going to cut up a little bit of parsley. This parsley is curly leaf parsley, and we are going to use this as a garnish to our dish. I am not going to do much to it other than, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tilt my knife kind of at a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to slice it that way. This one is just a little bit something. And what that does is it doesn't mess with the leaf, but it encourages it to come off of the stem. And so that's ready to go. That is ready to go in the trash. All right. And so I can just basically set the rest of it aside in case anyone wants knives. These are all hot pots, okay? Did you see what's in there? Just detour, hold on. See? Does that look nummy?
Mommy.
Yummy, yeah. Yeah, yummy. Are you going to eat that for dinner? What about these? Do you know what these are? Okay, so I've taken the chicken off the burner. Well, I've turned it off. And I'm going to just garnish the chicken with the parsley. It looks absolutely amazing. It smells amazing. I'm so excited to eat it. I cannot even begin to tell you. Just want to, remember that gets hot. If you guys are able to see what is inside here, I mean, it just is so delicious. It looks delicious. It smells delicious. It's sincerely one of my favorite dishes. The potatoes are just about done. I like to get them as done as I can because that way they break down a little bit easier when I'm mashing them. Potatoes just a little bit, just to break them down enough to where the actual liquid can break them down further. I don't want to smash potatoes with liquid in there because it'll just slap right back up at your face. And to be quite frank, I've already burned myself once with the liquid from the chicken today, so I figured, you know what, don't need it from the potatoes either. Wow, all right. So like I said before, we are a dairy-free household. Dad and I eat chicken, but you know, or I mean chicken, that's cheese is what I was trying to say there. We eat the cheese, but kiddo doesn't. He has to have dairy-free cheese. So we use oat milk. And let me just have a conversation with you about oat milk. If you've never had it and you're like, no. Trust me, I was there once. And that's okay. Okay, so Connor, he drinks almond milk. But whenever I cook, almond milk tends to have like this sweet flavor to it. And so instead of using it in my cooking, I use oat milk instead. And I have to find or buy a specific brand of oat milk because it is the one that has the least amount of additive, or the added, I was going to say additives, but added sweeteners. So basically, the one that I buy is a neutral oat milk. It has no additional flavor. So I feel like it's the safe bet, you know? And it does. It works out great. Tastes just like milk. It's fine. Well, it doesn't taste just like milk, but it acts just as milk would in that case of being a neutral party to the dish that you're making. Specifically, in this case, mashed potatoes. So I just put my salt in. I'm putting my pepper in. These are looking really nice. And spoon. At this point, the potatoes are mashed, so I just need to stir them. And I want to taste and make sure that it's creamy enough for me. I like extra creamy mashed potatoes. I like for that creaminess to come through with the butter and then the milk, or oat milk in my case. So a little bit more salt, not much, but a little bit more salt. And those should be perfectly done. So we're all ready to plate. I just took the bread out of the oven and I'm gonna put it in a basket so that it stays warm. Shouldn't take long to plate, but you know, bread cools down very quickly. All right, I'm just gonna cover this. Okay. Set that off to the side. Actually, set it over here. All right, because that's ready to go. Okay. Okay, time to plate. So with this dish, we're just gonna put a big scoop of potatoes right in the middle. A little bit more. Okay. And then we're gonna take, this is cool enough for me to touch. Let me grab a piece of meat here, a piece of chicken, and lay it right on top. Okay, just so you can see. And then I'm gonna take a spoon with a slight scoop so I can get some of this juice and liquid out, along with the onions and garlic. Ooh, yummy. And I'll bring it over here. This is just gonna add so much flavor is in here, you guys. I tried this earlier just to make sure that all of our flavors had come together, and they have really nicely. Okay. I like extra sauce because I love this. So this is what it looks like. And my parsley kind of got a little buried there. Let's put a little bit more. And there you have it, saffron chicken. Oh, he says more. I hear him. He's saying more, more, more. Let me get everybody's forks out. We're just gonna take a piece of the chicken and a piece of the onion, some potatoes and parsley, and we're just gonna take this whole bite. You guys. Be still my heart. Okay. That is so good. That lemon packs a punch, and it just, you know what it does? It smacks your taste buds wide awake and slaps your taste buds wide awake and keeps you begging for more. The onions are just perfectly tender, just offer a nice flavor, nice sweetness, because whenever you cook onions, they tend to become sweet. The parsley is always delicious. I feel like curly leaf parsley has a lot more flavor than flat leaf parsley, in my opinion. And then that sauce with the saffron, like the star here, that saffron just develops this flavor over a long cooking period, along with that chicken broth and the lemon that just dances on your tongue. You guys have to try this. This is probably one of the best dishes I've ever had in my life. I love it. I could eat it every single day, and I'm one of those people who once I eat it once, it's like twice is pushing it. But you know, I try to revamp my leftovers, so there you have it. But this I will eat every single day, hands down, no worries. Anyway, there you have it. I'm gonna plate up everybody else's dinner, and we're going to sit down to eat. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this journey of making my saffron chicken. I hope that you'll make it for your family. I'm sure that you're gonna love it just as much as we do. And if you have any questions or comments, please just place them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Make sure to like this video. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. You guys, thanks so much. I can't wait to see you next time.